Welcome into another episode of Everything is Logistics, a podcast for the thinkers in freight. We are proudly presented by SPI Logistics, and I'm your host, Blythe Milligan. And we've got a repeat guest back on the show because we've got Sankalp Arora. He is the CEO and co-founder of Gather AI. So Sankalp, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us again, Blythe. It's always fun.
Absolutely. And now we're here to talk about drones, vision, and the autonomous future. And a question that I've been kind of rumbling in my head on if a one-person warehouse is actually possible in the near future. So we'll get to that one in a second. But first, I kind of want to get the lay of the land of Gather AI because you're a software provider for drones inside of the warehouse. And the drones are helping with computer vision to help inventory counts. Do I have that summary kind of correct?
Yes, it's drones or cameras on forklifts or essentially cameras everywhere, anywhere in the environment. And we take all of that to do inventory counts, to do workflow monitoring, to find if SOPs are being maintained or not. So we started with drones, of course, but 6 years ago, have a grown set of products now.
And so it's all within the warehouse
all
now.
within the warehouse.
And so is it only forklifts and drones? Are they kind of talking to each other? Like what does, I guess, maybe an ideal warehouse look like using Gather AI?
Right, so if you have inventory on racks or on floors that is multi-deep, then you can usually use our cameras on forklifts or cameras on drones to figure out in real time what's happening in your warehouse. So a good way to describe this is if you have all of your forklifts instrumented by our cameras, your warehouse turns into an Amazon Go store where everything that you're picking up and everything you're dropping from inside the truck to back inside the truck, it's all digitized and all movements are known. And then our platform connects all that data from drones to forklifts and then converts it into actionable insights where people can learn how to run their warehouses better.
Oh, interesting. What are some of those, I guess, early insights that a warehouse provider can gather, for lack of a better phrase?
It's anywhere from zone management of warehouses, like, oh, this zone is having more mistakes, you should move location A to location B or inventory A to inventory B, to vendor management, which vendor is providing more damaged things, to labor management, where what people need training and what people are excelling at their jobs. And those come in different dashboards and natural language interfaces.
And so I'm curious at what the onboarding process looks like when a warehouse, because I think it's Kevin from the New Warehouse podcast, he has talked about this a couple times about how most warehouses they don't have any kind of technology, they're not automated. I think it's like over 90% of warehouses don't have any kind of technology, it's just warehouse workers. So when a warehouse decides, okay, we have a problem, like maybe we don't have, we have jobs to fill, but not enough people to fill those roles, where is the first step that they take if they were to invest in Gather AI?
So once that problem is identified, our solution engineers actually come in and figure out what's the most effective solution set that will serve you. Once that is identified, getting our tech in is really easy. We don't even ask for a power drop. All we come in and map a facility, it takes a week or two, and then we're done. So no additional infrastructure, no Wi-Fi constraints. And because we learned in a warehouse, in a big warehouse, it takes about $15,000 to put one power drop.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What?
It's just the cost of running the cable, making sure it's safe, it's compliant. So we don't even need power drops.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like the onboarding process is fairly simple, straightforward, and not a lot of investment. I think that's what a lot of people are hesitant maybe to invest in, robotics or any kind of automation solutions within the warehouse, is that they're going to have all of this cost ahead of time and maybe costs that they don't see, but that's not the case.
No, on an average, our customers get a payback in 4.5 months.
What about on the automation side of things? Where are you seeing some of the most traction taking place within a warehouse?
I think the most burning problem to solve for any warehouse is how do I increase my throughput while reducing cost per unit shipped, right? And the most intensive part of any warehouse is actually traveling. half of a warehouse cost is people and equipment traveling. So whatever technology is helping reduce that traveling, be it knowing where your goods are, be it figuring out what are optimal routes, or how do I reduce the number of times I have to go to the truck to pick something, all of those are getting the most investment. And that's a mixture of software and hardware.
What about from, I guess, the employee engagement standpoint? Is it kind of up to, do you have any suggestions maybe to some of the companies? Maybe some of the employees are a little fearful, or they don't want, they've done XYZ a certain way for their life, working for this job, and they don't want to change. They don't want to change their route in order to go and pick up a product because they want to do it this way because they get to pick up coffee on the way or something like that.
So just another stat, I think on an average, as I interview warehouse workers, they're walking 12 to 15 miles a day on those concrete floors. So whatever, they will take whatever that makes their life easier.
Really?
Because
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because their knees are getting impacted. They go home and they're tired. They can't play with their kids because they're just exhausted by the day. So what's happening is, if you can get people on the ground involved in decision making and show them how this really improves their day to day, they're all for it.
That's super interesting, because I heard a stat recently that Amazon, there was a real danger that they were going to run out of warehouse workers to hire. And that's a real problem for a lot of warehouses, is finding that employment and finding good employees. And so if you can offer them a way to make the job a little bit easier, then maybe there's an opportunity for them to stay on a lot longer and avoid that headache of retraining someone new.
Absolutely. And you'll see that warehouse providers or 3PLs or retailers who are running these facilities now have to put in technology for 3 reasons across the board to make the life of the person on the ground easy so they can keep running their operations. That also makes their operation faster, which makes the end customer happier. And the snowball effect of both your workers and end customers being happier is you get better brand presence across the board. So it's for all 3 reasons. That's why you see such a buzz in this space.
So what are some of the success stories that you've seen where someone has implemented the technology and now maybe their workers, they don't have to walk as much, they have more time at home? What are maybe some of the positive residual effects?
I'll share a few. I will redact names and company names. There's a manufacturing company. We serve all of their sites in US. They had a team that was looking up to continuously take inventory. And they had to do it every day for the full warehouse because it's a fast-moving facility. And they had people, as they were going up, who were afraid of heights. So not only their inventory gets scanned now every 2 to 3 hours, and their lines don't go down as a result, but also people who are scared of heights is like, oh yeah, I just sent the drone up there. There is another 3PL who serves a restaurant chain. We installed there, and within 3 weeks, we were talking to one of the people who was using our product every day. And she said, because these are the kind of stories that stay with you as a founder inventor. She said that I have a 6-month-old, and I was doing double shifts every day because there were so many customer fires that I had to put out. But now I know where everything is. There are minimal customer fires. I'm able to go home every day at 5:30 and play with my 6-month-old.
And that's, as an employer, I would think that that's one of the pivotal things that you would want to offer your employees.
Yes, absolutely.
Is being able to give them some of that time back, especially for a role or a job that you have to be there in person and you can't do this remotely.
And the thing is, you are doing that while providing a better service, not at the cost of better service. You're doing that while getting better margins. So I think it's a win across the board, and that's how I feel like AI applications should be. It's there to make our lives easier across the board instead of putting some people at disadvantage.
So what does, I guess, you mentioned how quickly that a company can be onboarded and start using the technology. When do they start seeing some of the wins? Is it in the software stack? Is it What does maybe like the software stack look like for them on a day-to-day basis? What are they looking at? Is it, improved inventory counts or?
They mostly, within 1 month, you will see increased pick rates and fewer items being thrown out because they were expired or lost or perishable. So you'll see reduced write-offs, increased pick rates, and that's usually the impact of higher visibility through our web dashboards, through which warehouse managers or VP supply chains manages their networks and operations.
And so from that, you could probably gather so many more insights, for lack of a better phrase.
Hence the name of the company.
Right, exactly. Now, I want to get back to my one-person warehouse idea, because I have a friend who works in trucking, and he makes healthcare products for truck drivers. And he has a warehouse in his backyard where he keeps all of his products and he ships them out himself. And I thought, oh, wow, this could really be the future of a different sort of economic boom for small business owners, small to medium-sized business owners. They have an idea, and then they can use a garage or something else. How plausible do you think, or how realistic do you think a one-person warehouse is in the near future?
What's near future for you?
I hate to say anything more than 5 years, because I don't know that we'll have any idea after 5 years. So within 5 years, do you think that a regular person would be able to have a business and a little mini shipping department and use Gather AI's software stack in order to keep accurate inventory counts?
They can use our stack, but I don't think it'll be a one-person warehouse because someone still has to pack inventory.
Oh, true, yeah.
In 5 years, I don't think it'll be democratized enough for people to do this in their garages. It'll start happening a little bit in warehouses that are larger scale. But I think, and this is now going into long distant future, but I have high conviction that in 10 years' time, most of us will have humanoid butlers in our house. As soon as you get to that stage, then they are the ones that are running your warehouse for you.
Very true. So you could have a robot, a humanoid robot, doing your laundry, cooking, the stuff you maybe don't want to do as much.
And also run your warehouse out of the garage.
Right, exactly. That's it. So, okay, my idea is not absolutely ridiculous, but it's something maybe attainable in the near future.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, I want to talk about this Series B that you just raised, because I'm reading off of shout out to Amanda, because I'm reading off of her press release that she sent me earlier today. But Gather AI, the leader in physical AI for logistics, has raised $40 million in a Series B funding. And what does sort of, I guess, that funding lead to roadmap-wise? What does maybe the next 2 years look like for Gather?
So as I mentioned, we are already digitizing what things forklifts are moving or reach trucks are moving. Our drones are digitizing inventory that is static, right? Much like Dextery and Verity and others. And we will start to capture more and more moving inventory as the next couple of years come in. But by the end of this year, you will see us with some of our favorite customers orchestrate their full operations end to end.
And so it's the entire operation is completely run.
It's completely digitized. We have an advantage that we actually know what's happening on the ground, right? Because our cameras are capturing what's actually happening. So our planning systems can have way more accurate plans on how to run the facility as compared to a WMS that unfortunately gets disconnected from the ground. So we are capturing all of that data and then putting our AI engine to work to then orchestrate the facility for our customers.
So how does it, I guess, sort of Gather AI plug into, is it essentially an API connection into different WMSs, or is it a separate tab on the computer? Where does Gather AI fit into a warehouse worker's workday?
Most of the warehouse workers, when we deploy, especially people who are picking and doing inventory, end up living on our dashboard because legacy systems are not so comfortable handling photos. And our point is every data point that we collect is backed by visual proof, right? So they end up living in our system, and then we do API integrations with WMS. or in some cases, just do an email CSV exchange that is automated. Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of the big conversation that you're going to hear over the next few days. We're at live at Manifest, in case y'all can't tell. But you're going to hear AI, you're going to hear automation, you're going to hear these phrases that have been talked about for the last few years. And so I think sometimes people just kind of tune out, their eyes kind of glaze over as soon as you mention those phrases. But where do you see sort of the state of AI, the state of automation in the warehousing space today? And where do improvements still need to be made?
Warehouses that have a really repeatable workflow, I think, are very well served by ASRS systems. And I think those warehouses have almost all of them have been automated because ASRS has stayed on for so long. But warehouses that have unpredictable workflows or deal with a large SKU diversity, they are just now starting to get automated. And over the next 5 to 7 years, you will see the default mode of a warehouse to have digitization and automation platforms, where right now it's you'll find a well-scaled, well-oiled machine to be automated. So you'll find more intelligent warehouses that are reacting to what they see.
What do you feel is important to mention that we haven't already talked about?
I think people, especially supply chain people who are buying technologies like us, they're a bit jaded, and rightly so, because in the past, it has required a large capex and has required a lot of IT infrastructure and a lot of IT integration to make anything effective. But with modern AI, solutions now exist that are plug and play into your existing warehouses as they are, if they are done right. So I would highly encourage buyers, warehouse operators, as they explore this, to explore solutions that can be plug and play so that they don't feel like they have to make a $5 million bet.
Because I think there's a lot of anxiety around adopting the wrong thing.
Right.
And then the sunk cost fallacy, and then you have to keep putting money into it in order to make it work. And maybe they've tried that already, to your point, and they've been burned. And so now they're just very hesitant. So how would you best prepare those people who have been burned in the past and want to make that smart investment in the future? What do they need to do, get their ducks in order to maybe become a future Gather AI customer?
Right, so I think 3 things in that order. First and foremost, important thing is, with a partner like us or with anyone within yourself, figure out what are the most burning problems you want to solve. Some of the problems are just solved by making your warehouse management system better. You don't need us for that. You don't need more automation for that. Make your WMS better if that's the most burning problem. If the most burning problem is how do I know what's actually happening in my facility and correlated to digital systems, then they usually come to us. Second is, if you come to any vendor who's like us, any partner who's like us, please make sure to do customer referral checks. Please make sure that you see the technology live in action, and ask, especially live in action in your facility, because every warehouse, they sort of all look the same, but they're not the same.
Huh.
How
so? Give us a couple examples.
For example, we operate in freezers. Just the fact that we are operating in freezers, your hardware has to be useful. And we also operate in Dubai, in the hottest warehouses in the world. So hardware has to keep up to that. There are some warehouses where aisles are only 4 feet wide. In some, you have 12 feet wide aisles. In some, you store things in sleeves. In some, you only work on full pallets. So make sure it works for your application and your problem case. And after you've done that vetting, before you greenlight something, please do an ROI analysis and make sure that you are sharing that data with the partner and hold them accountable to that ROI.
Oh, very good advice. Now we're at Manifest. This is obviously a tech-focused show. Is there any tech that you're excited to see out on the expo floor?
The thing that, and this is just my area of interest, is I'm fascinated to see how different people are digitizing different aspects of the warehouse. So there is a company called Sidetracks that digitizes yards, and just with cell phone cameras and yards. I'm really excited to see their tech because to me, as soon as you have eyes on what's happening across the board, you can just run your facilities better at low friction.
Oh, that's super interesting. I'll have to check them out again because I'm always interested in what the tech guys are interested in checking out. I mean, obviously your solution too, but then in addition, what are you kind of got your eyes on for the rest of this year? Now, Sankalp, where can folks follow you, get connected with you, maybe get a demo or test run of Gather AI?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be at Manifest when they watch this. If they are, we are at booth 1127. And 1277, correction. We are at booth 1277. And but a good way to find us is at gather.ai, which is our website, or get us on LinkedIn. We are at Gather Space AI. And if you just want to get to me directly and want to have a chat, reach me out at sankalp@gather.ai.
Oh, perfect. He's given out his email address on the show, which is a very courageous thing to do. Sankalp, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you.